Alright, so another philosophical, wisdomy like tidbit, if you wish. So I got here before we get started by Rido Black Saffron, last of the sampler. I just want to smell good before we get started here. God, man, it smells so good. Very feminine, but smells really, really good. Okay. Let me grab some coffee. Now, what I'm about to tell you is contradictory to what you would hear mainstream wise, as well as conflicting with the advice you most likely have received all of your life. And that is, patience is not a virtue. Let me repeat that again. Patience is not a virtue. Okay? Most likely, growing up, whenever you ran into a difficulty or a challenge or some sort of unfavorable circumstance, you've been told to be patient, or that things take time, or that you need to trust in the process. And while a lot of the time, people that tell you these things are very well meaning, let's not forget that some of the worst things in humanity's history have been done out of a place of good intention. So, why is patience not a virtue? It is not a virtue. It is not a I can't even pronounce the word. It is not a virtue because it is implicit within it that you lack something. And lack means that you are weak. And last I remember, weakness or lack of capability is not a virtue. So why do we pedestalize patience then? Because it's implicit in it that you lack something or you don't have the capability. So a lot of the time when you can't achieve something or accomplish a goal, or you don't know something, you are told to be patient. But the truth of the matter is, the reason you need to be patient is because you lack something, or you're not capable of something, or you don't have the knowledge or access thereof, or a certain privilege. So this is why you have to be patient. Okay? Think about it this way. And this is an oversimplification, I know that, but just to get it through. When you go to a high-end club, there's two lines. There's the VIP line and there's the normies line, otherwise known as the peasants line. Okay? The VIP line, you need to be on a guest list, or you are important, or you know a promoter or somebody in the club that values you. Okay? So you go to that line, or entrance to be more precise, and you enter right away, no questions asked. The normies line is the line you're always gonna see outside of a club that is extensively long. Now, why is that? These people simply are not privileged. They are not special. They do not have any sort of special capabilities or value or privileges. The list goes on. So they have to be patient. They go through the same exact process as a VIP, but the only difference is that a VIP does not have to be patient and a normie has to. And that comes down to capability or access to information or access to people. Right? So anytime you have to be patient, that means you lack something or you're not capable of something. So let that sink in. Every time you've been told through your whole life to be patient, that good things take time, that, a fruit tree takes a long time to grow and for the fruit to ripen. These are a lot of the things that you would have commonly been told. I know I have been. And they're a load of bullshit. Okay? Patience is not a virtue. And deep down instinctually, you know it. You know it. You know that you need to wait because you lack something. You look around you and you see others that have what you want or accomplished what you want with the least amount of effort, amount of knowledge, but most importantly, the least amount of time. They are almost instantaneously rewarded for doing less. Yet you are getting told to be patient, that patience is a virtue, to trust in the process. When did you become so desperate? When did you surrender your mental faculties that you reached a point where you are helpless? But most importantly, you are helpless by choice. That you got convinced that you need to wait, that you need to be patient. Look around you. That is not true. You need another example, okay? Case in point, I'll give you another example. When you go to the airport and you're flying commercial, you have to go through all of these hoops and you have to go through all of these security gates. You have to go through all of these check-ins. You have to get x-rayed, you have to remove clothing, you have to get asked questions, okay? And you need to be patient, because what's the alternative? If you refuse to comply, you don't board your flight. Now, if you were to fly private, okay? If you were to fly private, you don't go through any of that. No security checks, no questions asked, no waiting in lines. You just arrive 15 to 20 minutes before your flight. If things are in processing, you sit in a lounge where an attendant comes to you, gets your passport, completes all the work for you. You get your passport back and you board your flight. No questions asked. You don't remove any clothing. Your baggage isn't opened. You don't need to be patient. Okay? Patience is not a virtue. Patience, unfortunately, is a quality of those that are lacking or incapable. And you will see that if you weren't born into the privilege of not having to be patient and being rewarded for being impatient, you're going to find that as you become less lacking, as you become more capable, you don't need to be as patient as you used to be. And that right there is one of the biggest lies that you have been sold, is that you need to be patient. Even though right straight in front of you, you see with your own eyes someone else getting what you want, what you need, what you crave, what you dream of, without having to be patient. They literally don't wait. But you have to wait. You have to work harder. You have to learn more. You have to get better skills. You just need to put in that extra time for the same exact thing this person over there got immediately. Patience is not a virtue. And to reference a point that I touched on earlier is that a lot of the time, advice like that is given with the best of intentions. But again, as I've stated, some of the worst things in humanity's history have been done from a place of good intentions. And the reason you are consistently given that bad advice is because, let's face it, one, the person giving you the advice is not in any better situation than you are. So you're getting advice from people that you do not want to emulate their lifestyle, or not living the lifestyle or the dream you want to achieve. Okay? So that's typically who gives you that advice. Or second type of people that will give you that advice are people that are just honestly malicious. They stand to gain something from delaying you or holding you back. So they'll tell you to be patient. So the two common types of people, to reiterate again, that will tell you to be patient. One is somebody who is lacking or incapable as much as you are, that will give you that advice to be patient. Okay? The second kind of person that will give you that advice is somebody that stands to gain from you being delayed in obtaining something or gaining something or achieving an objective. To think about that the next time somebody tells you to be patient. Does that person actually know what they're talking about? Is that person the kind of person you want to be like or live like? And last but not least, does that person have the best intention for you? And if they do, what is it based on? So, patience is not a virtue. Okay? You are not a tree. You are not a fruit. You don't need to take time to fruit and become ripe. You're a human being. Okay? So, food for thought there. So, hopefully this is helpful to you or somebody you know. And again, if this upload rubs you the wrong way, that's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Because it means that you actually think for yourself, that you analyze, that you are willing to consider something out of the conditioning you've received. And we've all been conditioned, okay? I don't care where you have grown up or where you live. At some level or another, you have been conditioned, okay? As a matter of fact, I'll go as far and say as far as saying that even if you didn't grow around people and you lived in some sort of wilderness or rural environment, you are getting conditioned by that environment, even if human beings are not involved. So you're always getting conditioned. The one thing that you need to ask yourself is, what kind of conditioning do I want? So you need to start thinking in terms of what works for you, all right? Especially when a lot of the input you're receiving consistently shows you it does not work when it comes to execution. So just food for thought there, and again, thought to put this out there in case it helps somebody. So I'll wrap it up here. As per usual, very much appreciate your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.